And I think because we've had the visits from the Amagansett School every week, like the kids come once a week in the spring and the fall. And so once a week is incredible. 8 weeks in the spring, 8 weeks in the fall. I can build on that.
Yeah.
And I can complement what the teachers are teaching in their classrooms.
You have created a 52-week curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that curriculum, highlights, and the integration for all parts of the school year and farming season, and how those two complement?
Well, and beyond that, I mean, what has it been like to build this program from scratch, which you have done over the last decade?
I'm so grateful because you let me do it. And you're so open-minded, and I would have an idea, I would be curious about something, and I would be like, this kind of fits, and I could just research it and make it happen. And you were like, okay. Well, that's very unusual. I have a lovely woman who's teaching with me this year. She's taught in the public school system for 35 years. She's like, this is insane. Like, you don't have people, and no one has to be tested on what we're teaching, which like really opens up a lot of, you could basically teach anything you want, but no one's telling you what you have to do and what you can't do. You never say you can't do something. And so it's been a beautiful experience. It's a lot of work, but every winter, I love the winters because I get to read all these books. I get to think about all the little threads that came, the kids, all the questions they ask, or the things that I feel like we could take soil research a little more, like a little deeper. And would the kids follow it? And if I got this little microscope, could we go off a little deeper into it?
Mm-hmm. So it's building on itself every year. You're using the off season to think of how you could make the programming deeper and more robust.
Absolutely. Because the more I learn, the more I want to share it. I think that's pretty normal. And then the Amagansett School really plays into this idea. We are so lucky that we have this public school across the street from us, and you have curated this relationship. It's been going on for as long as the farm has been here. We had a teacher. It's always the teachers who are like, I'm really interested in bringing the kids over. And so I think it was one of the Amagansett School teachers that came over and wanted to see what you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. They were like, what are Katie and Amanda doing over there? And can the kids participate? It's very inspiring. And that's where it started. And I think because we've had the visits from the Amagansett School every week, like the kids come once a week in the spring and the fall. And so once a week is incredible. 8 weeks in the spring, 8 weeks in the fall. I can build on that.
Yeah.
And I can complement what the teachers are teaching in their classroom, especially in 4th grade for some reason. 4th grade teacher, whatever we're doing in our classroom often is like kind of flowing with what we're doing it hands-on in the classroom when she's teaching it. We're doing it in the outdoor classroom hands-on, and she's teaching it inside in the classroom.
There's nothing like, as a student, realizing that something that like feels vaguely theoretical or uninvolved with your regular life, when it actually hits in the real world. Mm-hmm. Makes information land in such a different way when you can apply it.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. So with the Amagansett School, it's just been like an incredible opportunity to practice. And I think the curriculum is based on that, because every week, you want to like explore something, and if the kids really responded to it, well, it branches off, everything in nature branches off mm-hmm. incredibly. So you can find something that really activates their minds. And it's really important to keep kids busy. They're not going to listen to me that long. I mean, we have something called a mat chat, and so that was invented to just sort of settle everyone into a group. You sit on this mat, we identify that we are together and we're going to have some fun today, but what are we going to do? And then you ask them a lot of questions. And then we have these like incredible posters behind me. Like I always have like a stage. And so you have about 3 minutes before they start to fidget and whatever, talk amongst themselves. So if you have a theme for the day, they want to know what we're doing. What are we doing today? That's immediately what they say when they sit down, which is exciting because I'm ready. And we've got it all laid out on the table. If we're doing something with herbs, we'll take this like mortar and pestle here, and we're going to go out into the field and we're going to harvest like sage and rosemary and I don't know, whatever's that, oregano. And we're going to bring it back and we're going to grind it and we're going to put salt in it, and you're going to take this like culinary salt home with you. Maybe you'll use it to cook with. But the mat chat is fantastic. Everyone lands, you quickly talk about what you're doing, and then you get to it, because they don't come to the farm to hear me like chatting and talking at them, because I think they get that. I mean, bless the teachers' hearts, but I know my children who are in high school, they are being talked at for 9 periods a day. And the teachers are trying their best, and bless their hearts, it's a hard job. But I think we're lucky here. We can have the kids just moving their bodies.
So experiential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're going to be reading something in a textbook, and that's fine, and that's exciting, but like, it's more exciting when you're doing it in the field. You smell it, and you taste it.
So
will
memorable.
Will you give us a few examples of like what the curriculum, what the curriculum topics are?
Sure. So in the beginning of the season, it's cold, it's windy, it's, you know, everyone's like, ugh. We start with phrenology, and phrenology is the science of like looking at the signals in nature to see, you know, what's going on. So, for example, when you look to see like what plants are blooming. So the first plants are like the forsythia out here, or the apple blossoms. And so when you see an apple blossom blooming, you're like, oh, it's time to plant the peas or the cucumbers. When you see the earthworms emerging from the earth, that signals that the robins are coming, because the robins are going to come and they're going to lay their eggs in their little nest, and when their little babies hatch, there's food for them. The worms will be the food for the babies, and the kids really love that story. And the worms, you start to see the worms coming out in the spring, and you're just like, something's happening under here. And then worms are just, they're so fascinating. Like, no matter how old you are, you're just like, you want to hold one, and you just want to look at the segments, and you're like, where's its head, and how does it, is it pooping on me, and is the soil made of poop, and are there billions under the soil? It's just like makes people go kind of insane, and it's fun. And we could do worms like forever, because now there's this place called Uncle Jim's Worm Farm, and you can order red wigglers for your compost. You can get earthworms. You can go over anywhere on the farm and dig some worms up. So fun. So we start with that. So phrenology, we're looking around to see what's happening, what bugs are coming out. You know, it's just signaling that spring is coming, because that's really exciting. Then we go in soil. We're talking about like those layers of soil. We are a farm near a beach, so that's pretty interesting. We make compost stews, and we want to know what the soil is made of. So from worms, we go to compost stew. So we take some recycled materials from around the farm. We have newspaper from the market, coffee grounds from the market. We get some wood chips. We get some old plant matter, and we add some water, and the kids stir it into a big pot, and they love it. It's messy. And then we pour it into the red wiggler, you know, compost bin, and then we add the magic ingredient, which is the red wiggler. And I mean, like, it sounds fun, but like when kids are doing it in a really big group, there's a lot of screaming.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the worms, but you do build empathy for the worms, because you realize, oh my gosh, they're going to take all this stuff and make it into soil.
And they're workhorses. Yeah.
They're such workhorses.
Do you remember I know you remember this, that when we were apprentices at Quail Hill, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but when we were apprentices at Quail Hill, we used to make our own soil mix there for seed starting mix. Oh. And we buy it in now. There's from a company called McEnroe Organics. We've also sourced it from the Vermont Compost Company. Both of those companies are great. But at Quail Hill, we used to buy the raw ingredients and make our own mix. And so there was, you know, it's perlite and vermiculite and peat moss, and I guess there must have been topsoil in that blend. I can't remember. But the thing that was the most, so and you were measuring out in the you know where I'm going with this story. You measured it out in 5-gallon bucketfuls, and it called for worm castings. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, worm poop, worm manure. And there was this place at the, thinking about this now, this is insane. I don't know of any other farm that does it this way, but there was this place that was super active of earthworms, kind of next to the driveway behind the barn. You have to kind of really go down this steep, it's steep on Long Island, but it is steep. That area is that ravine there next to the barn. And you have to brush the leaf cover away and with your trowel, like scrape worm castings into your bucket to make.
That's where I learned about black gold. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
What do we have to harvest?
It was the key ingredient.
Yeah, the key ingredient was the worm castings. So worms do
So
an
poop, you're saying.
Yeah.
It was like really exciting.
Yeah,
and it is very
just
exciting for kids.
It sounds gross. Mm-hmm. It isn't. Well, I guess depending on your.
It's not. It's like it's just like a crumbly.
It's just like crumbly
natural
soil
smelling.
Yeah.
Extremely.
It's not like the
highly
of other
nutritive.
animals. Yeah.
Component that plants need.
Yeah.
And I think kids embrace the idea of poop and worm castings pretty well. You know, sometimes their kids are a little germophobic, but yeah, casting sounds so elegant.
Yeah.
More than manure. Yeah.
So, and
Droppings.
we are finishing up summer, but the program continues through the fall. So, and then we work with nearly 20 schools on the east end of Long Island that will come here, or through the winter, maybe we will visit their classroom. What are you most excited about for the fall season?
Well, I'm still thinking about what we'll study, but I love cooking in the fall with everybody. I don't always get to do that. They want to cook in the spring because I think, you know, at the end of the school year, they're like, we need a break.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to convince them to do more cooking. I look forward to the children walking down the sidewalk from the Amagansett School, like doo-doo-doo-doo, in a little line. That's really
Back
sweet.
to school.
Back to school, yeah.
Back to
it takes a couple weeks
school.
before everyone sort of like gets it together, yeah. But I'm looking forward to harvesting. The insect world this time of year is really interesting, so that's fun. Preserving the harvest is really fun. I like doing stuff with tinctures and drying things. We have some dehydrators in the greenhouse, which is really fun. I'd like to expand on some of our herbal apothecary stuff this year, so I'm looking forward to that because I learn as the children learn. Making teas with them is really fun. Pasta soups, like soups or something that'll be really wonderful, and pasta sauces. And
What are the kinds of soups that you make with kids, for example? Or what's an easy soup that you can think of that would be a fun experiment for families to do at home?
I think like a white bean soup is really delicious. You can put rosemary in it, and you know, a base of veggie stock, a lot of garlic, a lot of herbs, whatever you have. You can always put a green in there, like spinach will be coming around again. So just pile it in with little things, sneak in things. Yeah, lemon, white bean, rosemary. Soup sounds really good. With a little bit of bread and butter, or herb bread and butter sounds really good. Maybe a juice on the side, a little tea on the side. I don't know, depends on the day. Yeah, that sounds really good. What else? I think pasta sauce will be really fun. We do so much pesto in the spring because of the basil, but like the tomatoes now, we can go kind of buck wild with those. Yeah, I don't know, that's what I'm thinking.
I made a simple tomato sauce this week with Beatrice. We took, I think it was probably 10 beefsteak tomatoes. We didn't pick sauce tomatoes. We picked beefsteaks. And her job was to quarter them. And while she was doing that, I diced one small onion and chopped 2 large cloves of garlic. Olive oil, onions went in, garlic went in, salt went in, the quartered beefsteak tomatoes went in, and that was it. And we're like, let's just keep it as simple as possible. Let's try the 4-ingredient sauce. And because the tomatoes are so flavorful right now, you almost don't want to interrupt it with, I was tempted.
Lots of noise.
Basil, oregano, a little heat, a little what? Nope. We restrained. And it was a successful, simple sauce that could have been made into soup had I tossed it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a dual action thing where you can have a pasta sauce and then you can also have a tomato soup and then use it for 2 different meals. But it was a success. I could have also done it with a 5-year-old. I was doing it with an 8-year-old, but I could have done it with a 5-year-old. And quit in a 15-minute project for the child's engagement, and then
how long were you cooking for?
I just
couple
put it on
hours?
simmer. Not even. Like I could have pulled it off and put it on their pasta in 45 minutes easily.
Well, the tomato,
less than an hour.
I mean,
You
one
can
of
do
the
a quick
reasons the
sauce.
tomatoes are so good right now is because it's been so dry. It's just so dry, and so the flavor is concentrated. When we have a really wet year, not only do the plants struggle because they're stressed and there are more diseases, but the flavor is literally concentrated.
I could tell. I mean, the taste was extraordinary, and not even having it be a traditional sauce tomato. It was delicious. I want to, before we wrap up, I want to thank you, Anne, because when Amanda and I dreamed of what Amber Waves could be as an educational farm, we could have never dreamed up what you have created. And it is what sets Amber Waves Farm apart from, I'm gonna say it, any other farm in this nation.
I thought you were going to say every other farm. So
we are different because we teach people about food. We are committed to doing it with children. We've talked about this before. We're committed to doing it with farmers through our apprenticeship program. But before we sat down today, you reminded me of something really important, and Amanda and I have seen this. We have taught 3-year-olds that have then come back either with their family over the years, or through a summer camp, or then on their own with friends, who then 10 years later have the ability to work with you and teach other children in the summertime, and they become your farmers' helpers. And then they might even go on to work in the market or work in other areas of the farm. But I firmly believe the reason that they remain engaged as like really active and alert food citizens is because it started really early for them. And it's something that you have really shown a spotlight on, that an 18-month-old who's coming to the farm has the freedom to explore, and you provide that freedom of exploration for them, such that that child can come here, and if they want to sit and play with worms for an hour and a half, they can. Or if they want to water something, they can. Or if they want to learn and touch and see new textures of plant leaves, they can. And that exploratory openness, that opportunity that you give children is magic. It is what is going to save these next generations. If we can elevate and scale this program to reach more children, which I know we're all working towards. And I think that's an important note here, is that if there are teachers who are interested in this curriculum, reach out to us. If you're a parent who's interested in bringing this curriculum to your school, reach out to us. If you are a politician and care about food policy, reach out to us. Like, we have good solutions for bringing food education to children through schools. And it is simple, and it is very effective. And you always say that there is, I'm going to let you use your words so I don't paraphrase your words, but you are creating a world for a child in which it's nature forward, but it's really their own self-empowerment that they're developing. Can you wrap us on this very important point?
Yes, it's my favorite part. You know, I don't profess to say that I'm an educator. I guess I am an educator, but that's so arrogant. Like, when someone comes to the farm, like, I don't need to manage their experience. You know, I'm not there to manage. I'm there to offer the opportunity. I think that's just what we do here at Amber Waves. We offer these beautiful grounds for people to pick their flowers and harvest their vegetables, and for the children to explore. And with their own curiosity, they follow that. And that's so much more powerful than me or somebody else being like, this is what you should learn because it's important to whatever, me or the government or whatever. It's about like what inspires your heart and your soul, and your mind follows, and from there you just, I don't know, I just believe in free will so much that I think, you know, there's just so many people and institutions telling children what they should and shouldn't do. And I think that Amber Waves offers this free space for children to really like deeply connect with nature through the rhythms of the farm. And, you know, nature is amazing, and it's big and vast and overwhelming, but the farm, because of the seasonality of it, there's a rhythm to it. And you just, when you're in the fields in the spring and you don't see the plants, you're like, what's happening? Where's the watermelon? Where are the strawberries? You know, I always ask kids, like, what's your favorite vegetable? They're like, strawberries. And, you know, they have no idea when strawberries grow or whatever. But if they keep coming back, they're going to start to see the flowers on the strawberry plants, or they're going to start to see like the blooms and the leaves coming out, and they're going to get a sense of time. And so I think that sense of time grounds them in this reality that we live in. And we have so much technology, and technology is like very like quick, and you don't have to wait for anything. It's like such instant gratification. And I think the farm offers this opportunity to really see how things naturally and organically unfold. And that's how life is. We are little seeds that are unfolding naturally, and we're affected by everything in our soil and everything in our air and the people around us. And I think that the community here is really beautiful, and I think children are very supported here at the farm and in Amagansett and on Long Island and all over the country. And I think that this feeling could be elsewhere. I know it's in many other places. There are parks, there's other farms that do this sort of work. I think schools have this incredible opportunity to offer kids this feeling. There's a lot of testing on things in schools, and I think that takes the joy out of things. I think joy fuels us, curiosity fuels us, but not everyone's interested in the same things or the same way of looking at things, and that's the beauty of diversity of thinking and curiosity. So I think here, when we explore, your diversity of thinking is honored, and I think that's really important.
And we find that even in the farmer training program, the apprenticeship program, looking for people from diverse backgrounds with a variety of skill sets. And I think we wish that more people would think about agriculture also, as a career choice. So we're talking about starting them very young. But
yes. We're an incubator for your program, because the children are like, when can I work here? And I'm like, oh boy, let me just tell you, we have so many ways for you to work here.
They see that, they see the farmers walking around the field, and all the women on tractors, and they think, I want to do that. And so that is such a great exposure to, because you imagine what you could become based on looking at who is around you and what's around you. So getting kids on the farm is.
It's so true. And my dad was a farmer, and I used to look at him, and he was so dirty and bedraggled. And I thought, why would anyone do that? He's so tired, and he has all these weird cuts all over him all the time, and he just looks, poor man. Why would anyone be a farmer? And now I'm just like, my dad was so incredible. I just didn't realize like all the things he understood and all the things you have to know to be a farmer. Wow. It just blows my mind what you guys have accomplished and what you know. Every science is represented here. So teachers, if you want to illustrate science in the fields, oh my gosh, it's all here. Everything is here. Literature is here. All of the sciences, all of the food. I mean, anything you can think of. What are the other? Physics is here. Chemistry is here. Math is so here. I mean, the farm planning, like the idea of these wonderful farm apprentices coming over to the garden and planning this garden for us, and then learning from you guys. It's all here. And it just starts with the little kids. And so, yeah. And everyone has to eat. We are designed to eat approximately 3 times a day or more. So, I mean, there's a reason for this. It's important. So, yeah, I just want the schools to, I just want to be in schools. And I want, we're ready. We're ready for you schools.
Well, we're so grateful to you for what you have built here with us. It's really, and what you've curated and welcomed people into. You make it look so easy and effortless, and I know that it isn't.
It's simple. It's
Before we wrap, I want to just call attention to and remind everyone why we do this, and that we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization for the purpose of educating children, in this case, about food. We rely on individual donors to fund this education program. We rely on family foundations to fund this program. And it is turning into a scholarship model also, where that funders are stepping up and in to subsidize field trips so that more public school children can come to the farm that otherwise wouldn't be able to. Or other community partners around us who don't have the funds to pay for a bus or to pay educators to come here, or any number of the costs associated with it. So I'm mentioning that because if not for individuals and family foundations around us who support this program, we wouldn't have the great reach to our community that we do. But that though, if you are interested in kids' health and education, we are always looking for new funders for this program. And this program is ready to launch. Like, we have the opportunity to really make a big impact, positive impact. Just not 90 miles away in New York City. And there are some connections I think that we can make, that we have cultivated a program that a lot of other people can and should be able to access. So if you are interested in children's education, health and wellness, we have a solution for folks that are looking for a program or looking to fund a program that is meaningful and makes a real impact.
That's great. And we've had practice working with public schools and private schools to see what works and what doesn't work. So there's some shortcuts.
Yeah, we've learned.
We've learned a lot. Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I see the future. I like to widen my lens and imagine every school has a farm associated with it, because there's a population of people and they're all in that area, and there's food for everyone. And if you need food pantry items, it's right there. You've got the school cafeteria, it's right there. The children are eating from that. They're taking food home in their CSA box every week. Everyone is fed in that whole area. And then you're learning all of your sciences and you're learning everything there. It's a beautiful thought. It's a dream.